Road infrastructure, electricity, private houses, and sometimes food security have always been under threat on an annual basis. What could be responsible, you may query? Flood, a force of nature, but sometimes man-induced as a result of human impact on the environment, capable of inscribing its merchandise on lives and property without negotiation. Abuja is regarded by observers to be one of the fastest growing cities in the world. But experts say there is a price to pay for this rapid urbanization of Nigeria's capital. Over the years, flood-induced casualties in the FCT is one case too many. In 2019, Mike Edoja, a retiree, and the entirety of his family escaped by the whiskers as the raging storm water came calling on his estate in Lokogoma. Since then, Mike and his co-residents in the community have been at the mercy of uncertainty of what may or may not as every rainy season approaches.
Up to now, we are still expecting them to come and do what they should do because the canal needs proper channelization and embankment. Once this is done, I don't think we'll have this problem again. Because that 2019, they came, the relevant authority came, did a lot of demolition of those houses. Those were the houses that caused the flood. But after that demolition, the flood never abated.
For mitigation, the estate's management had embarked on self-help measures to annually dredge and desil the water channels before rains commence. While that may not be sustainable because of its capital-intensive nature, Mike conceived an idea of raising a couple of blocks coast embankment around the entrance to his house to push the stormwater back whenever the flood comes calling. This initiative, he says, has helped a great deal.
Since then, the flood never entered here again. Once the flood has overflown the culvert there and it keeps back flowing down, it keeps going. It doesn't enter here. Since then, it keeps going. And if you look down, you see that the next compound too has equally copied or done a similar embankment at their entrance.
Each time they come, we had hopes that something would be done. They demolished this house and a few other houses around here. So we assumed that having done that, it would be very easy for them to just come and do some work.
Like Mike's estate, these two box culverts connecting Dogongada community, also in Lokogoma, to the city center, is still partially standing because of the community's efforts, such as this stone-based concrete enforcement.
We want to try as much as possible to see if we can make this place more trouble to assess the community.
The effect of infrastructures, of flooding on infrastructures is really becoming very bad. And that is why, being FCT, Emergency Management Agency, being the first responders, we are putting in our best to see that all the structures that are being built on waterways are being pulled down to allow free flow of water so that we avoid flash flooding.
The color red signifies danger, and the mark, an indication that structures such as these contravene state laws in infrastructural development. Images such as these dot landmarks in parts of the nation's capital. The measure is part of efforts by government enforcement team to return sanity to natural water courses that have been impeded by human activities, with the hope that this initiative will bring succor to the people and save lives and property. Development controls bulldozers roll in at locations time to time to pull down structures perceived to have been built on natural water routes. But they argued that the measure by Mike may not be the needed solution.
I am sure he must have violated those norms. He must have built on the waterways, so he has to raise embankment. And if we go there, we are going to remove the embankment. Because the embankment, he's only protecting himself, but he's pushing it to another person, which is going to destroy that.
By introducing some form of retaining walls, or even barricading the water course, not minding the fact that water, as we say, will normally, naturally find its way. You don't block water courses. It will normally find its way. When you do that, you are constricting the otherwise channel.
Experts say, in the quest to address the threat posed by flood to human tranquility, there is need to constantly seek harmonization of general advancement of environmental and social knowledge. In Abuja, Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.